great things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in that gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. Those are words from Teddy Roosevelt, our 26th president. My fellow Toastmasters, great leaders like Teddy Roosevelt, they set goals, they welcome challenges, they strive to overcome them. They have the mindset that whatever problem they encounter, they're going to overcome. They are not satisfied with the status quo. But how can we, you and I, learn to overcome challenges like those leaders that impact their world for the better? When you and I face extraordinary problems, we need extraordinary solutions. The same old solutions don't work. We need to innovate, we need to create, we need to persevere, we need to keep trying different solutions until we've overcome the problem. I'll say it again. We need to keep trying different solutions until we've overcome the problem. About 20 years ago, I lived in Santa Clara near the university, and I used to love to walk. And oftentimes I'd walk at night and just think. And one night, it was about 9:30, it was dark, and I was on a walk, and I saw an ATM machine. I thought I'd run a little errand and get a little cash. And, you know, when you're on foot at night, taking money from an ATM probably isn't the wisest thing to do. And so, but I did it, and I'm walking down the street, and as I'm walking, I see these two guys ahead of me, and they just looked like trouble. Big, strong guys that just looked bad to me, a problem. And so my solution, of course, is to, I remember leaving the sidewalk and walking out into the middle of the street just so I didn't come too near these guys. And I kind of did a half circle around them. And having successfully avoided the problem, I kept walking. But then suddenly I heard footsteps behind me like somebody running. And then, whack! On the back of my head, I felt this blow. I think it was like a nunchuck. It just knocked me to the ground. And I had just recently come from East Palo Alto, which was a pretty tough neighborhood. In fact, at that time, it had the highest per capita murder rate of any city in the country. And one of my friends there, who had been part of a gang, was a really tough guy, done drugs, and he had said to me, Doug, if you're going to survive in these streets, you've got to know that there's a time to run. And as I hit the ground, I was thinking, run. And so I got up, and it's like a sprinter on the blocks. I hit the ground, and I start running. I'm just sprinting as fast as I can. Unfortunately, I'm not as fast a sprinter as I thought I was. And about 50 yards later, I hear these footsteps behind me. And then, crack! Boom! I hit the ground again. And then I'm a sprinter. I'm up again. I'm running as fast as I can. This time, it only took him about 20 yards to capture me. And I really felt like a hunted animal. And this time, this guy put a little extra in it. Because as he hit me, I felt all the lights wink off. And as I hit the ground, they winked off. And then, but I managed to wink on again as I hit the ground. I realized, okay, running from my problems isn't working. Avoiding my problems didn't work. It's time, you know, to face my problems. And I had been a wrestler in high school and a little bit in college, so I knew what to do. So I turned around and I shot into the guy's legs. And I'm wrestling with him. Now, I've probably had a concussion, I'm woozy, I've got a big gash on the back of my head, so I'm bleeding. And I hit this guy, it was like hitting a brick wall. I mean, the guy was built like a tank. And I'm wrestling and I'm thinking, there's two guys. And, you know, if I can take this guy down, you know, I'm a sitting duck for a knife in the back. So this isn't working either. So I need a new solution. And like most guys, you know, I hate to ask for directions. But you know, this is an extraordinary case. You know, I need some help. There's got to be someone around here that can help. So as I'm wrestling with the guy, I say, okay, help, help, help. And so finally the guy's wrestling, and then he stops, and he kind of pulls back. I let him go. He runs away. Problem solved, except for the medical bills, which were pretty hefty when they had to sew me up. But as I looked at that extraordinary problem, I tried 4 different solutions. You know, I tried avoiding, I tried running, I tried facing, and finally I tried calling for help. And fortunately for me, I ran out of problem before I ran out of solution. But how about you? When you encounter an extraordinary problem, do you keep trying the same solutions, hoping for a different result? Or do you keep trying different results, different solutions, until you solve the problem? You know, oftentimes it's the surprise solution. It's the extraordinary, the out-of-the-box thinking that wins the day. You know, at the end of in the American Civil War, at the end of the first day of the Battle of Shiloh, you know, after the Union did very, very poorly, the Union general, Ulysses S. Grant, he was approached by his very discouraged chief engineer, James McPherson, who said to him, "General, things look bad. We've lost half our artillery. We've lost 1/3 of our infantry. We have, our line has been broken and we're pushed back all the way to the river." And the general made no reply. And finally, impatiently, McPherson asked him what he intended to do. And Grant said, "While we'll reform the lines and we'll attack at daybreak, won't they be surprised?" And surprised they were, and by 9 o'clock the next morning, the Confederate Army was completely routed. So I just encourage you, fellow Toastmasters, when you are encountering extraordinary problems, innovate, create, persevere, keep trying different solutions until you've solved the problem. Madam Toastmaster.